My first online course was a massive undertaking. It actually ended up being my flagship course for my Preaching Donkey brand. But I did make some mistakes as it was my first course, the first time I've ever tried to do this. And in this video, I want to share the 3 biggest mistakes that I made and hopefully share how you can avoid those same kind of mistakes when you make your first online course. There's going to be something in here that I think will help you, especially if you're building a course right now and you want it to work, you want it to be great, you want it to be transformative and really make a difference and hopefully make you a great amount of money in the process. My name's Lane. This is my channel. I love to help online business owners create and grow online businesses. So if you're into that kind of thing, be sure to subscribe to this channel. Let me know in the comments what you think about today's video, and I want to put something in your hands for free. If you go to lanesebring.com/supersimple, you can pick up my free super simple guide to your first $500 online. These are the exact steps that I use to create my businesses and get them to 6 figures and beyond. I'm going to show you exactly how to take an idea that you have and turn it into a profitable online business. Go to lanesebring.com/supersimple. It's totally free. And it's just my way of saying thank you for stopping by today. All right, so let's get into it. The 3 biggest mistakes that I made when I made my first online course. Now, I want to mention when I built this course, I was bootstrapping my business. It was a razor thin operation. I was still working a full-time job, and I would work on building my course in the mornings before I went to work. So the work that I did on my online course was really a labor of love before and after work and on the weekends, and it took me about 6 months to build it. And I was working with what I had available to me, which wasn't much in terms of training, in terms of equipment, and in terms of just know-how because I had never done it before. So you might be in the same situation with your first online business, and it's okay to be a beginner. And I want to mention that. It's okay to make mistakes. One of the things that I'm really thankful for is that I actually did build my online course, mistakes and all. I think a lot of people kind of hold back on executing on their plans because they're afraid that the mistakes are going to be embarrassing or hard to overcome. And to be honest, my personality is just, I'm going to push through it even if it's hard and just do it, because at the end of the day, a finished product, a finished online course that's up and for sale is better than a non-finished product that's not up for sale. It's better to execute on your plans than to plan and just never execute, right? I would rather put out an imperfect product than try to perfect a product that I'm never gonna put out. So with that said, I wanna show you in this video the 3 mistakes that I did make that hopefully you'll be able to avoid so that when you make your first course, you'll have a hopefully better outcome than I had. Number 1, I had really terrible equipment. Now, I'm talking about cameras, lights, editing software. Like, I just didn't know what I was doing, and I had very little money to work with. Now, the reason why I label this as a mistake was, looking back, there were certain things that I could have invested in that would have helped me in the making of my online course just to make it a little bit better. The 2 biggest things are lighting and audio. Both my lighting and my audio were pretty terrible. And the way I do online courses is both face to camera and my slides. So I've got the slides in my lessons and they can see my face. And then when I'm promoting my online course and in the introductory lessons and in the concluding lessons, it's just face to camera video. And that face to camera video was not very good. In fact, I just went through and updated all of it now that I have a much better setup. But the 2 things which would have really helped me out a lot are lighting and a great microphone. And the reason why is because I didn't sound good and I didn't look good. And if you're gonna buy a product that costs several $100s, you don't wanna get into it and see that it looks unprofessional and shoddy. So my suggestion to avoid this mistake is just do a little bit of research and see what do you need to have as an absolute bare minimum for your camera, for your lighting, for your audio. I've got some really good stuff on this channel about that. If you go down to the description box, you'll see all the things that I use in terms of camera, lighting. You can look into it there. There's plenty of channels on YouTube as well that will help you out with that. But just make sure that you have something that you're proud of. If I could go back, I would have worked a little bit harder. I would have paused the process for just a second, and I would have gotten better lights, gotten better audio before I moved forward, because I'm building a paid product. I felt like it was okay at the time because it was all I had, but if I had it to do over again, I would do it differently. The second mistake that I made is I did not really get much input or feedback from my list as I was building my course. This is one of the things that I actually teach to do, and I did it with subsequent courses, and I'll do it moving forward. But for my first course, I really didn't utilize my list that well in terms of asking them what they needed from me, seeing how I could serve them, seeing which problems I could solve, seeing what they needed help with in their preaching and in their church leadership. I did that kind of informally, but I didn't really have a good process as I was building my course to see where they were and to kind of tease the idea that I was building a solution. I did some pre-launch work and I feel like I launched well, but I didn't really get the input from them that I really should have to make the best possible product. I still think the product is awesome. It's still my flagship product. And the great thing about an online course is you can put updates in there and whoever's in the course just gets those updates. And it's awesome, but at the time, I could have done a better job. So what you can do is, if you have an email list, which you should, or if you have people following you on social, reach out to them as you're building your course and prime the pump. Get them to tell you two things. Number one, where are they stuck in terms of your niche, in your topic? What are their challenges? Where are they stuck? And number two, what are their goals or desires? Where are they trying to get? Where are they stuck and where are they trying to go? If you can get your people to tell you the answers to those two questions, you will have everything you need to build the best possible course for them. Looking back, I should have done a whole lot more of this than I did. Finally, number three, when my course was finished and it was time to create my sales page for my course, I was so insecure about my ability to write sales copy that I looked at a few templates. One of my business mentors, Graham Cochran, I looked pretty heavily at his, and I relied so heavily on the templates and sales copy of others that when I looked at that original sales copy, it wasn't really in my voice. It was very much kind of a conglomerate of what other people would say if they were trying to sell my course, which looking back, that's fine. I wasn't plagiarizing anything. I was looking at people who I had paid for coaching to receive their coaching and kind of looking at what they had done, but I relied so heavily on that it wasn't really me. With my second course, I started the sales copy process with a lot more originality, and that page reads much more like I actually talk and I actually sound, and it lets my personality come through, which is why I'm updating all the sales copy in my original course to be more in my voice. So looking back, I think I would have spent a lot more time trying to figure out how do I make this original to me, because that's what is actually going to connect with my people, not my version of what someone else has done. Again, so much of this is so confusing and hard if it's the first time you've ever done it. So I give myself a little bit of grace. I'm not beating myself up over this. And ultimately, the course did really well. So these weren't detrimental, but they are things that I have learned from, and I think I can do better moving forward. So when it comes to your course, when it's finished, work on your sales copy, like make a great sales page, make a great landing page and a sales video, but do it as originally as you can. My suggestion is to watch my video that I did about writing sales copy. I think it's a great video. And then go through and make sure that as you're working through that process, it's completely in your voice. Is it how you talk? Is it the way you use sentences? Is it the way you express yourself? Make sure that comes through, because when your people who know you, like you, and trust you land on your sales page, they're looking for you. They're not looking for some version of someone else that you've tried to copy. All right. So learn from my mistakes. Those are mine. I am trying to help you by being as transparent as possible. Ultimately, every one of us is going to make mistakes. I am am far more interested in executing on plans than trying to do that perfectly, but those are the mistakes nonetheless. I would love to know what mistakes you've made as you have created products, online courses, whatever the case. Be sure to let me know. And right here is the video I was referencing about my sales copy process. So if you want to watch it, click right there and I'll see you in that video and we'll talk about sales copy.